The first oddity arrives before the story even begins, neatly folded into the Australian afternoon, like a hidden flap in the blue western sky. Dr. Miriam Quee stands on the cracked tennis court asphalt behind the physics building at the University of Western Australia, running an outreach event for a gaggle of high school students. She's supposed to explain inertial frames. Instead, she fingers the varnished arms of a boomerang someone left on the demonstration table, 2 laminated slabs of Tasmanian oak fixed at a gentle chevron. The prop was intended to suggest parabolic motion, nothing more serious than that. Miriam once published a paper titled Closed Time-like Curves in Condensed Matter Lattices, but no one here knows it. Within the tight theoretical circles of quantum gravity, she is an up-and-coming voice. Outside those circles, she is the friendly woman wearing a broad-brimmed hat and smudged sunscreen, good at explaining why satellites experience time dilation, but equally good at laughing when a student whispers, "So you're basically building a TARDIS, right?" Behind her, the Swan River flashes like a broken mirror. The air smells of frangipani and brine. A wedge-tailed eagle drifts overhead, angling for thermal columns that don't exist this close to the ground. Let it be for the hair. The teenagers finish their sausage rolls, and someone asks about the boomerang. A flash of mischief passes across Miriam's freckled face. "Picture this," she says, balancing the oak V on her palm. "Angular momentum, torque lift." The kids nod, bored and sunburnt. "And suppose space-time itself is bent in just the right way, a little like the airfoil curve of these wings. Suppose a boomerang could fly not only through space, but through time." A boy with acne snickers. Miriam hears the chime of her own preposterousness. In truth, she's riffing. The boomerang isn't hers. It isn't quantum maneuvered or magnetically spun. She winds up anyway, half to amuse them, half to amuse herself. Her arm arcs forward, wrists snapping like she used to do in high school cricket, and the wooden V whirs into the sky. She expects a tidy circle. Out, around, back. Instead, the boomerang vanishes. 1 second it's there, flecks of bright varnish catching the light. The next, empty sky. The kids gasp. A dog behind the fence starts barking as if alerted by something humans missed. But the real strangeness occurs 5 minutes later, though Miriam experiences it first. She's still in mid-throat forearm extended, weight on her front foot. When a cold piece of wood slaps into her palm, the slap is familiar. The polished oak, the stinging recoil she would feel when catching a perfectly returning throw. Except she hasn't thrown anything yet. Her fingers are splayed, muscles vibrating with kinetic intent, and for a fraction of a second she holds a boomerang that, from her temporal perspective, shouldn't exist. Then her arm finishes the motion and releases the same boomerang that has already returned to her. The kids see only a blur, Miriam winding up and somehow also catching. Time folds in on itself like dough. Somewhere in Perth, clocks skip beats. Somewhere else, CCTV cameras register frames that contradict one another. "Whoa," says the acne boy. Miriam's heart jackhammers. The air wobbles as though hot tar were poured between the minutes. She feels nauseous, not in her stomach but in her memory, the sense of recalling something that hasn't happened yet. She barely hears her own voice when she mutters, "Not possible." The phrase echoes against limestone walls, sounding thin and superstitious. An elderly groundskeeper approaches, squinting through thick glasses. "That thing come back, did it?" he asks. There's unease buried in his tone, like someone recognizing an omen. Miriam nods automatically, eyes scanning the sky for discrepancies, duplicate clouds, broken contrails, nothing. Everything looks normal. But her palm keeps tingling where the wood touched her 5 minutes early. She manages to finish the demonstration. She talks about gyroscopic precession and Bernoulli lift, though the words feel hollow. The teenagers file off to their next tour stop, excited because they witness something uncatalogued. They chatter about magic boomerangs and YouTube virality. The teacher accompanying them gives Miriam a grateful smile that doubles as an apology. "Kids, right. Then they're gone. Miriam finally sits on a low retaining wall and exhales. Her Apple Watch pings. Several health metrics are elevated. She closes her eyes and tries to reconstruct the event in calm, clinical steps. 1. At 13:07 and 32 seconds, she began the throw. 2. At 13:07 and 33 seconds, she experienced tactile contact with the boomerang, implying the object travelled backward in her light cone. 3. At 13:12 and 35 seconds, 5 minutes futureward, the boomerang would presumably return by normal aerodynamics, creating a loop, a textbook causal paradox. She takes out a small notebook. Her research group has toyed with toy models, wormholes threaded through Bose-Einstein condensates that might permit Planck-scale retrocausality, but nothing macroscopic. Nothing about boomerangs. She scribbles vector diagrams until sweat smears the ink, then stops because the asphalt around her feet is shimmering, the edges of reality wavering like heat haze. Something rustles in the brush near the court's boundary. She turns, expecting a possum. Instead, a silhouette unfolds. Kangaroo-shaped, but out of focus, edges rippling as though seen through flowing water. Within its translucent hide glimmer flecks of starlight, constellations she half recognizes, Crux, Orion, the Seven Sisters. And its eyes are ambitiously ancient. The creature cocks its head, listening with its entire body. A second, then a third silhouette hops into being, each wearing glints of cosmic dust. They pause 2 meters away, tethered by silence. Miriam blinks. Her scientist brain tries cataloguing them. Some form of atmospheric optical phenomenon? A hallucination? But the ground quivers under each ghostly footfall. Leaves crumple the way they should beneath real mass. These kangaroos are impossible, and also quite here. One speaks, though the voice bypasses air and enters straight into cognition. Time has frayed from a careless throw. Mend it. Miriam's first impulse is laughter. She clamps it down before hysteria blossoms. "I think I did something," she says aloud, uselessly, because speech feels safer. The lead kangaroo's nostrils flare, inhaling sentries. "We have laws. You have broken them." "Who are you?" she whispers. "Wardens, Kangaroo, guardians of the dreaming's clocks. Call us time police if you need something smaller." Miriam's knees threaten to fold. She remembers fragments of Nyungar's stories. Spirit beings that shaped rivers and skies before time assumed its present form. She never imagined them cross-indexing with physics conferences. "I didn't intend." Intention is not immunity. The kangaroo shifts, realigning galaxies in its fur. Undo the snag before further strands unravel. Miriam swallows. How? Catch it sooner. Release it later. Stitch the moments so that the circle lies flat again. But I already... The lead spirit tilts an ear. One try remains. Fail and timeline shear. Perth becomes ghost water. The roo's tail thuds the earth. A pulse of gravity radiates, bending blades of grass. Then they're gone, condensing into pinpricks, evaporating like dew. The world straightens, though tinnitus rings Miriam's ears. She stands alone on the court, the boomerang at her feet. Her watch shows 13:09 and 51 seconds. 2 minutes until nominal return. Catch it sooner, release it later, she mutters. Closing her eyes, she rewinds. She caught the boomerang at 13:07 and 33 seconds, which is now 2.3 minutes behind. The object presently spirals somewhere above campus in real time, obeying aerodynamic prophecy, on pace to drop near 13:12 and 35 seconds. She must intercept it again? But before it completes the loop? Or create a new loop that neutralizes the first? The mathematician inside her sketches loops upon loops, world lines overlapping like scribbled phone chords. She needs fixed point consistency, Novikov's principle, writ in eucalyptus shade. A scream erupts, not human but sky-tearing. She looks up. A ragged gash cleaves the afternoon, revealing night beyond daylight stars poking through like pins. Chronological laceration. Already the world is disagreeing with itself. Streets around campus flicker between present traffic and deserted 19th century horse tracks. She sees both trams and Teslas overlapping transparently. The fault lines spread from her epicenter. Okay. Panic is inefficient. She snatches the boomerang, jogs to the open cricket oval behind the chemistry building, wider, fewer obstacles, and plants her feet. Wind gusts, polar, unnatural for November. She needs to throw the boomerang not into space, but into time. That means adjusting its angular momentum to match misaligned world lines. Her mind rifles through equations, Lorentz transformations, Berry phases, topological defects in chronology. The tool in her hand is humble, but boomerangs, like space-time, love curves. A sharp crack echoes as another fault opens near the pavilion. Half the structure reverts to its 1960 brickwork, half remains aluminum and glass. Miriam calibrates the boomerang angle by feel. Her left palm still holds phantom memory of that premature catch, buzzing like an EMF coil. She inhales. On exhale, she throws soa this time, with a slight roll. The boomerang arcs into the fractured sky. Where it intersects the gash, sparks leap like comets. Instead of following a planar circle, the V climbs, then dives, carving a Mobius strip across the torn firmament. It disappears. 1 second, 2, 30, an eternity. Space stabilizes, but not wholly. The anomalies stutter like poor reception. She waits. A breeze rustles her ponytail. The Swan River's surface toggles between chop and glassy calm. Then, a familiar thunk. The boomerang materializes in her grasp, but this time her smartwatch reads 13:05 and 3 seconds. She has caught it 2 minutes earlier than her first illegal catch. Her stomach drops. She's 3 minutes behind her own timeline, meaning she stands in a slice of reality where she hasn't yet started the outreach talk. Down at the tennis court, another version of Miriam must be unpacking demonstration gear. She also remembers the Kangaroo spirit's dictum: catch sooner, release later. She's satisfied the first clause. Now she must delay the release until after the original return 13, 12 and 35 seconds, closing the larger braid, but she's in a pre-immense zone. If she remains visible, anomalies double. If she hides, perhaps she can wait without colliding with herself. She jogs to a row of bottle-brush shrubs. From behind red bristles, she watches younger Miriam greet the students who have only just arrived. Sweat beads on older Miriam's forehead. Sunlight feels hotter out of phase. The boomerang in her hand hums faintly, as though containing cicadas. She checks the second hand on her watch, each tick a moral weight. 7 minutes to release, time enough to think, which is dangerous. She wonders what will happen if she fails. Timeline tears, Kangaroo wardens return, maybe erase her, maybe erase Perth. She pictures the entire city diffused into quanta, the bell tower at Barrack Square ringing for nobody, Kings Park wild again under impossible nebulae. Futures collapse in her thoughts like houses of easel paper. Focus. She crouches, breathing through nose. Younger Miriam explains lift. Kids yawn. A perfect memory playing out, though it's only 8 minutes old in her neurons. At 13:07 and 32 seconds, younger Miriam raises the boomerang for the first throw. The oak V she holds is not the one older Miriam grips. Different world lie. Same atoms. Older Miriam tenses. She wants to yell a warning, but clamps her teeth. Interference would fracture tectonics of cause. Younger Miriam throws. Nothing vanishes this time. The timeline pruned? No, wait. That throw is still entangled with the present paradox. The oak arcs wide and stable. Older Miriam watches her past self stand perplexed. There's no premature catch now. Good sign, she has already amended the earlier snag. Step 1. Success. Yet risk remains. The boomerang is still airborne, set to land 5 minutes hence. Older Miriam must relaunch her own copy at precisely that moment to overlay and neutralize the incoming one, preventing duplication. Catch sooner, release later. A chronological crossfade. The minutes crawl. The sun inches west, but also east. Shadows wiggle as the timeline repairs. Birds flicker between frames. Older Miriam notices the spectral kangaroos perched on the ridge overlooking the oval, semi-porter settled. Pelted. They wait as referees do, whistles poised. Finally, her watch displays 13, 12, and 30 seconds. She steps from the shrubs into the oval's center. Younger Miriam and the kids are obscured by the gym building. Good. She lifts the boomerang, angles it toward the northern sky where she estimates the incoming path. 13, 12, and 33 seconds. 3, 2. Above, the original boomerang descends, glinting. She sees the twin arms slicing air. At 13, 12, and 35 seconds, target instant, she channels everything she is. Cricketer, physicist, daughter of West Australian wind. She throws. 2 boomerangs intersect exactly. The clap is thunderous, yet no wood splinters. They merge, phasing like overlapping holograms, unraveling each other's contradictions. A disk of violet light rings outward. In its wake, the world stops flickering. Brickwork chooses an era, roads settle. The river resumes a single texture. Miriam's arms hang, trembling with exhaustion. The merged boomerang sails its final loop, returns obediently, and she catches it at 13:13 and 0 seconds later than any other catch, sealing the sequence. Silence descends, then magpies resume chortling. On the ridge, the kangaroo spirits nod. The lead warden bounds toward her. Each hop craters time a millimeter, but the universe forgives it quickly. Balance restored. Be mindful. Miriam can't muster speech, just gratitude. The cosmic-eyed marsupial studies her as one might study a candle that nearly burned down the house. Your curiosity is rightful, but wield care. We shepherd many worlds. Objects that curve through space may curve through time. The spirits blur, their galactic freckles scattering like islands across tide. As they fade, the lead warden offers a last drop of wisdom. Every throw is a promise. Keep them small or keep them true. They vanish. Only the smell of rain remains, though the sky is cloudless. Miriam looks around. The tennis court, the oval, the buildings, all normal. She hears laughter, the students finishing the tour. Younger Miriam is presumably still chatting. The versions may have fused, memory rewriting into a single consistent line. She feels no doubled thoughts, no echoing traumas, just deep fatigue. She rejoins the group. The teacher asks if everything's okay. Miriam nods. The boomerang lies innocuous in her grip. One student acne boy says, "Did it curve weird? I swear it sparkled." "Probably the sun," she replies, with a calm she doesn't own. Later, in her office, Miriam locks the boomerang in a fireproof safe. Then she opens a blank document, intending to write a report to her research peers, only to close it again. Could quantum gravity paper accommodate Dreamtime policemen? Would peer reviewers laugh? She's not sure. She logs out of her email, walks to Kings Park at dusk. The city lights emerge, but stars remain faint under sodium glare. She looks for kangaroo silhouettes in the treetops and sees only birds roosting, horizon hazed by bushfire smoke 1,000 kilometers away. Yet the wind feels older. She remembers the warden's final admonition. Every throw is a promise. Maybe her work will edge humanity toward controlled CTCs one day. She'll ensure the promises crafted along that path stay small and true. For now, she exhales, pockets her hands, and listens to the park breathe, ancient soil beneath modern streets, both tangled yet peaceful. the timeline holds. Perth drifts into evening unquestioned, the Swan River carrying silver ripples past pylons and paperbark trees, as though nothing extraordinary ever curved its way through time.